What's up? Dave from Signature Details here. Out in the parking lot at the Chinese place waiting on some food. You know, I'm going to get in the van. I turned it on and started it up so I can get the air conditioning going, so I'm going to hop in the van. That's a little better. I want to talk about something that Keith Kalfas talks about in a couple different videos. Talks about what is your minimum to show up and do a job. Well, I have minimums for certain things. You have to excuse me, I've been cutting grass all day. I'm waiting on some Chinese food here. Anyways, having a minimum to show up to a job is very important because you have to know what you're worth. If you charge hourly, if you have insurance, if you have different certifications that you're trying to keep up on, whatever the case may be, if you have workers who are working for you, you kind of have to know what your worth is. You have to know a minimum to show for a job, meaning if you have to pay your business $50 an hour, you know, between insurance and people working for you and different things, and you're showing up to a job that's only $40 profit, now you just lost money. Keith Kalfas, his minimums are up there. It's like $89 a job depending on what it is. My minimums are not that high yet. They will be eventually, but I would say right now my minimum, the job has to pay at least $50. If it doesn't pay $50, it's not worth me showing up for it, because then I'm not made. I can still make money if it's like $40 or something like that, but it's not going to be a whole lot. So my minimum is $50. So kind of calculate that and see, you know, start turning down these jobs that pay $35. I'll come and cut your grass for $35. Between the gas to get there, the gas for the mower, the gas and oil mix for the weed eater strings, and your time, you know, if you have insurance, your minimums have to be at least $50-$60. You know, you'll have to start turning down some jobs, but you know what? That's the way it works. Sometimes you have to turn down jobs. You can't always just take every single one that comes. That's kind of the joy of being a business owner. You can pick and choose what jobs you're taking and which ones you're not. But you have to have good reasoning to not take a job. If it's good profit, good money, then you might as well take it. You know, don't be dumb. But oh, my nose is itchy. My allergies have been crazy. But let me tell you a quick funny story here before I get off of here. We're working with a realtor right now because we're looking to buy a new house. And I was walking out of the Chinese place, and the realtor, she texted me, and she says, we are confirmed for Saturday, 10 a.m., whatever, to go look at this house. I texted her back, and I said, perfect, thanks. Well, when I got back out towards the van, I wanted to text my wife and tell her I ordered the food. That way she had a little, you know, time frame of what we were doing and time-wise. So I just opened the text message, and I said, food is ordered, baby. And then I realized, oh no, I just texted the realtor that. So I texted her back. I said, sorry, that was meant for my wife. And she says, I thought so, but I thought I didn't have to cook tonight. So anyways, that's my little funny story for the day. I texted our realtor that the food was ordered, and I called her baby, and I did not mean to send it like that. But, so then I texted my wife, and I said, food is ordered, baby, and it actually went to my wife. So yes, that's what I wanted to talk about, was minimums. You know, stop taking these low-paying jobs where you're not making a lot of money. This is something that Keith told me that or not told me, but he said it in a video, and I almost live by this with my business now. You'll be jumping over dollars to get to nickels. If you quote low, you charge low, you take these low-paying jobs, you're passing up on some really good money. So you, instead of jumping over dollars for nickels, jump over the nickels to get to the dollars. Perfect your services, perfect your techniques on what you do. Settle your prices in and put them a little high. Look at your, like if you do lawn service, look at your yard and say, what would I charge to do this yard? And if you're the homeowner, say, well, would I pay that amount? You know, start seeing what you're doing. So Other than that, have a good day. Get out there and make some money.